Okay, I'm back. Part two. No, these are good. Okay. I ain't for no fries, you know what I'm saying? Especially once they get cold. So, let's go on to the next one. Now, that was priestly covenant and zealous for God. So he was zealous. Oh, yes, he was. So zealous that he went and he killed somebody. He killed somebody for the Lord. Guilty of. Will you do that? Okay. Next one in the same priestly covenant. Atonement for sin. So let's see what that said. Because of the zeal of Phinehas, that man that killed him, the Lord initiated a special covenant with him and his descendant. Lord have mercy. See what happened? See what you do? See what you get? See the reward you get when you stand up for the Lord? He don't leave you out there. He don't leave you by yourself. You don't go. He ain't like people. He is not like people. When you do things for the Lord, when you stand up for the Lord, when you love the Lord, when you work for the Lord, when you be faithful for the Lord, regardless of what people say, regardless of what people think, regardless of how they treat you, you get your reward. Where people will only give you a reward if you do something that they like. You see what I'm saying? Me as a parent, I rewards my children, my grandchildren, based on, let me make sure I get this right, based on what they do, the things that they do, the effort that they put in it. You see what I'm saying? My children was younger. The effort that they put in it. I don't reward them because I got something out of it. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to dwell too much on me because I'm talking about the Lord now. So, in other words, this gentleman represented the Lord. His zeal for the Lord was so phenomenal that God rewarded him, letting him know, I'm proud of you. I'm glad you did such a thing. So let's see what God rewarded him with. He initiated a special covenant. Remember, covenant is agreement with him and his descendants. You see how good God is? His descendants. So then, he must have had some children. Now, there's a passage in the Bible that says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So, the seed is a descendant of the person, of the righteous person that is doing righteous, that is serving the Lord in all he know how, in all she know how. So he made this special agreement, covenant with him and his descendants after him. So then, even when he dead and gone, God is still letting him know that he's going to keep his agreement that he promised him while he was alive. He going to keep it when he die. That's good to know. Being a descendant of Aaron, Phinehas already had the correct lineage. So, in other words, it's saying, being that he came from the descendant of Aaron, and Aaron came from the descendant of Moses, and Moses was what he did. Moses was already in a covenant, I'm presuming, with the Lord because God called him, you see what I'm saying, to do the job of delivering the Israelites from out of bondage. So there's a long line there that read it, it's in the Bible, of all the descendants that came after Moses and how they was blessed. So he came out of the line of Moses because Aaron came from Moses, right? So Aaron, he was, I mean not Aaron, it said in here too. Phinehas was the grandson of Aaron, and Aaron was the brother of Moses. So do you follow me? God looks out for his people, and then he looks out for the descendants of his people. So it's just like a father that has a company, right? So he runs that company for however long he chooses to. And then when it's time for him to retire or whatever happens that he decides to not go to work anymore, he passes that down to his descendant, whether it be a female or a male. That's why it'd be very important in some families for women to have boys because they feel that girls are maybe incapable of taking over the company and running it. You see what I'm saying? So the boy is very important in the life in the life of a human being. So Christ looks out for you, and then he looks out for those that comes after you, and then those that come after them, and those that come. It just keeps going down. You see what I'm saying? It just keeps going down. As long as the head person continues to keep God first. Leave this world with God still first in their lives. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, things happen where God being compassionate, I'm not going to say he'll overlook sin, but I'm not gonna go into that because that can go all kinds of ways, and my head is like going into another direction, and that's another lesson by itself. So let's go on. So the high priesthood was promised to his family. So it says, being a descendant of Aaron, Phinehas already had the correct lineage, and that you'll find that in Exodus 29:9. The high priesthood was promised to his family. So therefore, being a priest, I guess, the high priest at that, was promised already to Aaron's family coming from Moses. Okay. The covenant of peace, and that's in Numbers 25:12, was actually the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Verse 13. Okay, so it said the covenant of peace, Numbers 25:12, which is wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. This is Numbers 25:12. And this must be Jesus talking. Sorry, God talking. So now, the covenant of peace, Numbers 25:12, was actually the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, which you'll find in verse 13, which you say, and it say, wherefore say 12, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. 13, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. because he was zealous for his God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. You see, he got rewarded for stepping up and stopping sin, because that was sin. And he just said, Christ just said that, wait a minute, let me see that. In spite of the command to slay those who continue to worship Baalamor, some Israelites continued in their sin. So apparently we see that this Israelites said, no, we're not having that. We're going to stop this in its tracks. And God is looking for bold saints. I'm not here to preach. I'm not a preacher. I'm more of a teacher. So this is telling us that if we stand up for the Lord will stand up for us. Don't be fooled. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. Yeah, it gets scary at times because the enemy puts that fear in us. But his words say perfect love casts out fear. And God does not give us the spirit of fear. So if we stand up for the Lord, even in our most fairest moment, scariest moment, if we stand up for the Lord will step in and take that fear away from us. And we won't even be scared, even in the midst of danger. We will be like David was with Goliath. He was tall as crazy. But David was not afraid. I don't believe he was afraid. I don't know whether it says so in the scripture. But he was not afraid. I don't believe he was afraid. He had so much confidence in his slingshot. What my slingshot about to do is do. And I'm about to point it right to his forehead, because I know if I hit him wrong, he going to get back up, and that's the end of me. Maybe that's what he said. But I don't even think he was afraid. He wasn't even worried about it. God had to prove a point. God had to let them people see that he works through people that we think he don't work through. Little shepherd boy minding his business. He come up there and what's going on? They scared. Scared of what? Scared to go to the... What? King? I'll go. Get out of here. You see how people think? Because he's so little. All he got is a slingshot. What are you going to do? You got to put on the armor. You got to put on that armor. What? You're about to drown me in this armor. Take this thing off of me. He had so much confidence in his sling and in the Lord. And he went and killed that giant. This man had so much confidence and faith in the Lord and in what he was taught that he took that spear and he killed them people. Sorry, be right back.